The United States government announced $2 billion in funding for quantum computing. I'm V. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do keep one eye on government spending and who could benefit from it. Let's talk about supercomputers. While the Trump administration is taking credit for this initiative, the money actually comes from the 2022 CHIPS and Science Act signed by President Joe Biden. The act originally provided for strings-free grants, but the quantum computing program requires companies to provide a minority stake in the business to the Department of Commerce. It's very similar to a deal they struck with Intel last year, where the government exchanged $8.9 billion for a 9.9% stake in Intel. Most of this money is going to wafer foundries, including IBM, who's getting $1 billion, and Global Foundries, or GFS, that's getting $375 million. These companies are supposedly building new quantum wafer factories. IBM is investing in a new quantum arm of the business called Anderon. This offshoot venture will use the Albany nanotech facility created by New York State and IBM so that they don't have to construct a new facility right off the bat and can just get started. IBM also has a wafer fabrication plant in Yorktown Heights. They said they were going to transfer significant intellectual property assets and a skilled workforce, and some articles are saying this new company will closely resemble the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. That's interesting. In addition to these two foundry companies, 7 quantum computing firms are also receiving funds. The companies the government is funding are at a competitive advantage, but some analysts are saying that doesn't really matter too much, and businesses that aren't a part of this deal may just not want to dilute their shares. This technology is extremely new, and this is not final. While letters of intent have been signed, they still need to iron out the details before any money is exchanged and an official contract is signed. The news of this huge government investment has pushed up the stock prices of many quantum computing companies, and not just those funded in this recent announcement. Some really big companies were left out of the deal, like Google. They've been working on quantum technology for quite a few years now, and are working to establish a new research hub in Colorado. IonQ has been acquiring other quantum computer companies. This is Stockbro's baby, but they were not included, and they had a big price increase. There's a chance more funding for this sector will be announced in the coming days. Congress is supposed to be voting on the National Quantum Initiative Reauthorization Act that currently seems to have bipartisan support and may provide an additional $125 million to the quantum computing industry. So why is the government involved, and what's the use case for quantum computing? It's used to solve really complex problems like simulating chemical reactions, which could then hypothetically be used to develop medicines faster and more accurately, as well as synthesize other chemicals. Plus, it has applications in cryptography and defense. These are all things the government is really interested in. The money is supposed to be used to accelerate research and development for, quote, the most consequential unresolved engineering problems, which includes things like control hardware, error rates, and cryogenic systems integrations. Quantum computing uses super cold conductor chips, which makes scaling up really difficult. It means it uses hella water and energy and requires specialized infrastructure. That would really be something to watch if they decide to start combining AI data centers with these quantum computing facilities. These supercomputers are really prone to errors caused by really small environmental changes, like small temperature fluctuations or vibrations from people walking. Currently, there are no scalable, fault-tolerant quantum computers. Because this is such a new technology that very few people understand, the stocks have been extremely volatile for the last 2 years. If it's the next AI boom, people really want to get into it. Big AI names like NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Google have been talking about quantum computing. It's also worth noting that several of these companies have ties to the Trump administration. Emil Michael took one of these companies public in 2022 and is now the U.S. Undersecretary of Defense. And Donald Trump Jr. is a partner in a venture capital firm that invested in another one of these companies last year. As that announcement came out, Zoe Lofgren of the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee said that this was an illegal allocation because the CHIPS Act money was specifically allocated for semiconductor technology, and that a former IBM executive who's now working for the Department of Energy was involved in the negotiations. I am not a financial advisor or a political analyst, but Congress really hasn't done anything about corruption up to this point. These are overlapping technologies, so I unfortunately doubt the legality or fairness of this deal will be of any consequence. But again, I'm just some rando, and I have no idea if this is going to come up again. These stocks are really hyped up right now, but there's not any money being made in this realm yet. And there's a real chance for a boom and bust if this technology is abandoned, which is very possible. The headlines you read about quantum computing makes it seem like that's something we're going to experience next week, but the technology is probably way farther out than that. All of this excitement could be reallocated to some different, more efficient mechanism before it takes off, or this could be the most important technological advancement of this century. There's really no way to know yet, despite what the finance bros are saying.